In devil stealing our time, yes, he has got something to blame, but also there is something that we are to blame, whereby we waste our time on our own, where the devil is not even involved, by some of the things that we do on our own, by some of the things that we get to be engaged into, by some of the things that we find comfort in them, whereas we are not supposed to be finding comfort in them. If I recall very well, we are reading from the book of Exodus, chapter number 3, and we also read Exodus, chapter number 33. Where we have been talking, Exodus 30, where we have been talking about what God said to the children of Israel, that they've stayed so long at Horeb. They need to break camp and they need to advance and go where God was directing them. So it's something that we have been talking about and something that we have been discussing, and we found out that there are some of the things, some of the places where we ended up getting comfort in, whereas we were not supposed to be getting comfort in those areas, and those whereas we are supposed just to be there and passing. You know, a target is there for you to stop and do what needs to be done there, but it doesn't mean that you have to park there. You only does what you do there and then you move forward. Same applies a lay-by when you're driving down the way. Of course, even here in Ireland, I've seen places where like you can just there's a parking area along the motorways where you can park and then you have rest and then you proceed with your journey. So some of us, we found to the laybys, we found those parking areas, and then we thought that this is our place, and then we managed to pitch our tents. We're discussing a lot of things when we're talking about pitching our tents, like when God says break camp in advance, it means that they constructed a camp for them to stay, which means they've established some of the things. We once spoke as well that there are times that we establish some of the things in our lives and it really comes to be established, but it doesn't mean that that's our place. So sometimes you can put a certain investment in a certain area and then it can start to work, but it doesn't mean that that's what you do. You can get a job and you can work that that company that you have been offered and whatever, and then you can have years, but doesn't mean that that's where Lord has destined you to be. So it means sometimes you can put yourself in a comfort zone, then you can find that I cannot want to move from this place. You can say, this is my place. But whereas God is communicating directly to you that this is not your place, which means your place is there, your portion is there, but you are only putting yourself into that area because you have chosen it for yourself, because you have found it maybe good for you, while this is not.